Welcome back. It is another lovely, albeit somewhat warm, uh, Sunday at the table with me, Shub. So I think it's probably, if you're in the US at least, it's pretty warm a lot of places right now. Um, so we're staying inside. We're playing it a little cool. Uh, and We're going to play a goat today. We're going to play a classic goat. And this one is called Peloponnes. And this is from days of yore, let's just call it. When it comes to the board gaming, the modern board gaming scene or hobby, 2009 might as well have been an entire lifetime ago, right? Yeah, 104. Yeah. Welcome in, Netco. And so what we find today on the table is, well, you wouldn't find this game being sold today, I don't think, and at least not the art. This game is a drab, as some would call it, a soulless Euro. You get that phrase a lot, soulless Euro, and that's usually an attempt to disparage a Euro that has what some might view a substandard level of art. To me, I actually kind of like it. Maybe I'm just because I came up in that, like right at the tail end of that era of board gaming before these like mass market, huge, like budgeted artistic endeavors that masquerade as board games. And don't get me wrong, I love them. I have many of them. I've streamed several of them. Those were not around. Their budgets were thin back in those days, and people were just cranking out passion projects and doing the best they can with the art that they could get their hands on at the time. And this is Peloponnes. This was just one of these. And for the longest time, Peloponnes was somewhere absurdly high on Rahdo's top 10 of all time. Or not top 10, top games of all time. I think it may have even been in his top 10 now that I think about it, but it was definitely in his top 20 for many years. I'd say the bulk of the time he's been streaming, Peloponnes was at least in his top 20, 25 games. He's revamped his system in the last year, I think, and it has dropped as a result of that. But not terribly far in the scheme of all the games that Rahdo's ever played in his life. And I believe he still owns it and keeps it and will probably forever keep it. There are a lot of expansions for Peloponnes, most of which are multiplayer expansions, although some can be played solo, I recently learned. So I have a copy of the big box, if you want to call it that, a collection of expansions, probably more apt, on the way, and I'll probably fold those in. They just kind of bolt on and augment some things and make it a little bit more nuanced in certain areas, add some tiles, all the good stuff you want from a good expansion. But this is the base Peloponnes game today. We're playing it solo. There is a core difference in the solo game. The main multiplayer game has an auction bidding component to it, which this does not have. The version of the solo game for the base game has no drafting whatsoever. I love this game enough and I haven't played it in years, but and that's part of why it's on the table today, because I felt I've passed it over it so many weeks in a row now, thinking, I'll get to it. This was the perfect. I had some stuff in life that made this week that just made it so I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, and I was like, you know what? I know Peloponnes really well. I've been meaning to get it streamed anyway, so here it is. We're going to feature it today, but no longer is it getting passed over. And I thought, you know what, let's just get it to the table. And what I may do, I think in the future, I have an odds and ends category in my stream, and I may spend one of those contemplating what it may be like to design a solo AI opponent for Peloponnes. Barrett is a great guy. He's the designer of this. I've talked to him many times. He's got bigger and better things on the horizon as well. He should. He is a game designer, and he's going to prioritize making his mark at the various game expos in order to market his next games. And Peloponnes being a 2009 title, it's already received a bunch of love in terms of expansion content. I don't know that he'll probably revisit it. So, maybe I do it because I love this game enough that I think it deserves more. And I think it deserves to have its bidding component present in the solo game. That's not to say that I think that the solo game version, as you'll see today, is inferior. It's just more streamlined. There's just less kind of messing about. You're just picking tiles, paying for them, and adding them to your civilization. And that's fine. You're not competing with another player, but I think you should. I think the game benefits from that level of player interaction and tension. And you know, this is just a straight Civ builder at its core. So, what do I mean by that? Well, here's how Peloponnes essentially works. What you have is instead of, you know, a bunch of resource chits and, you know, a pile of wood chits and a pile of stone chits and a pile of food chits and a pile of population and luxury goods, you just have a lovely, and I mean that somewhat jokingly, a lovely little resource counter board. This is your player board, and all you're doing is saying, oh, I have this many wood, and this many stone, and this many food, and this much population, and this many luxury goods. And then it gives you a little end of game scoring reminder at the bottom. Very, very, very drab and streamlined. I adore this kind of this thing. I admit it. I love when it's not like this high art production value. Get down to the brass tacks sometimes and just, you know, let me focus on the gameplay. And I think this does that well. So that's the player board, just a resource tracker, really. And off to the side here, I have my collection of starting coins. We'll talk about how I figured out my starting coins in a moment. This row of tiles is our opening market. There's 3 phases in the game. There's A, B, and C. We'll work our way through all 3 of those stacks of tiles throughout the game. And every round, there are 8 rounds in the base game. Every round we'll draw 5 tiles, and we'll choose which one we're going to buy and add to our civilization, and then the rest of them get discarded. And then we see another 5, and we make that decision again. So up on the top, we have the natural disasters that will befall us before the end of the game, because this game is about Peloponnes. It is a historical place. It is a real period in time that lived and died, and so it's time to, you know, that civilization dealt with life, dealt with its world in that time period. So Peloponnes, also called the seat of the gods, each player represents one of the 7 Peloponnesian civilizations in 1000 BC. And we're trying to develop that civilization, increase its wealth and population, and become the most powerful entering the new millennium. So 1000 BC, we're dealing with tempests, we're dealing with drought, earthquakes, plague, and decline. And there are ways we can mitigate those. Like any good engine builder, any good Civ builder, you should be able to see some of that coming and try to deal with it. And the game even simulates them kind of understanding that some of these things are not far away. They weren't blindsided all of the time. They had some warning most of the time. And it was all about what you did in order to react to that and be prepared. And sometimes you just took the hit, knowing that it's just the right thing to do. Did I miss an alert? Can you hit that alert again? I want to test that alert, make sure I'm able to hear it. If not, oh well. I tested it beforehand and it was working. Now it's not. So anyway, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Maybe he's not by his keyboard. We'll see. So anyway, so then you are going to be able to kind of predict, and here's what I mean. Mechanically, at the end of every round, we flip over some natural disaster tokens, and we will see what's on those tokens, and they will be symbols that represent one of the...
What did he say?
Ah, it worked. Okay, good, great, perfect. I was able to hear it that time. Don't know why I wasn't able to hear it before, but I was able to hear it now. All right, and I saw the animation, which is great. Okay, cool. Starting soon. Okay, that's probably why. Yeah, because I can't hear nothing on that scene. Okay, here is the situation. So we're going to be flipping over at the end of every round. We're going to be flipping over these natural disaster tokens, and once one of those natural disaster tiles accumulates 3 of its matching tokens, then that natural disaster will occur. So if we flip over 2 and let's say both of them are plague still doesn't happen. Once the third one is turned over, then plague will happen. And yes, if multiple happen in the same round, multiple will be resolved in the same round, which sucks, but it can happen. So, what that means though is that you're never blindsided. You know that the probability is that this is likely going to occur. So, every round, we're going to be buying tiles from the market. We're going to expand our civilization. We're going to get some income and some resource generation. We're going to figure out which natural disasters may be on the horizon. And then we're going to do it again. And each and every step we go, the more and more we build up our civ. And by the end of the game, we're generating a bunch, and we're able to weather a lot of these storms, hopefully, if we do our jobs right. We're going to be building out agriculture on the right side of our civilization tile, and we're going to be building out our buildings and on our commerce and things over on the left side. There are some rules which I'll get into as we play around like how you place those tiles, but generally speaking, buildings on the left, agriculture on the right. Let me think here. What else? Oh, right. Starting civilization. There's a stack of tiles. And in a multiplayer game, you're going to draft those, or you can just decide what you want to play. This number in the bottom left corner is around like player order, because depending on who you start with depends on the starting player order. And then there's things you can do to change your player order in the multiplayer game. But again, because we're playing solo, we don't get to do that, unfortunately. But what matters for all civilizations are what's in the top right and bottom right of each tile. I'm playing in Messene. I hope I said that right, Messene. At my starting resources are $6 and 2 population, which is why my marker here is on 2. My population marker is on 2. And then I start with 2 food. And every round, when we generate resources, Messene will generate 2 food. Pretty simple. So I have my 6 starting bucks. I have my 2 population. I have my 2 food. So I start with 2 food as well. And that's it. We get started. Any questions? Oh, yes, very good. If there are any questions, leave them in the comments as always, or in the chat, and we'll go with it. Yes, I have played this with you, Netcon. Yes, okay. Let me see. What do I want to do? Oh, victory points. Right. So, excuse me. At the top center of every market tile, there is a certain number of victory points you will gain for that building at the end of the game. Luxury goods are not on their own generating victory points, but they are kind of a wild resource. We'll get into that as we go. But anytime you max out one of these resource tracks, you will start generating luxury goods instead, anytime you generate that type of good. And then you can trade back those luxury goods for different things that you may need throughout the game. All right, so let's look at the options at the top of the game. We have 5 tiles to choose from in the market. These first 2 tiles are agriculture tiles, and this last one is an agriculture tile. And these 2 right here are buildings. This is the market, and this is the port. Now, you'll notice that these tiles look very similar to the one I described for the Civ, except that in the bottom left corner is the cost for the tile. That's how much money I have to spend in order to get it. And then occasionally, in the middle, at the bottom middle of the tile, there will be some special abilities you gain. If you were bidding with other players, the market grants you a virtual 0.5 in your bidding value. So let's say I bid 5 for this tile. I'd actually, because I had market in my Civ already, my bid would actually be 5.5. So if somebody else had bid 5, I could bid 5 and still beat that person without having to spend the extra dollar. That's what the market lets you do, a little bit of extra economic advantage. Port, very simple. Port says, hey, you're less prone to civilization decline. Yes, correct, tiebreaker. You're less prone to civilization decline if you have a port, because presumably you're out trading, you have additional resiliency in your economy, you're able to survive for longer because you have additional routes to both travel, expand, and trade. So that's port. Gives you that ability to say, basically, when the decline happens, we're just not going to decline because we have a port, because we're resilient. So what do I want to do? Well, I have the money to buy any one of those tiles. And at the beginning of the game, there are no placement restrictions on what tiles you can place. So I can buy any one of these 5 that I want. One of the things you look at is what resources is it going to generate for me throughout the rest of the game. This one will produce 1 stone every round. This will produce 2 food and a wood every round. This will produce 1 food. This will produce any 1 good of my choosing, not counting luxury goods. So that would be money, stone, wood, or food. But I only get 1, but I get to choose which one. That can be valuable. This one produces 3 wood. It's literally a forest. So that's just going to crank out wood for me. Not to be understated, if you max out the generation of one of your resource tracks, you just start generating luxury goods, which can then take the place of any resource you might need in a 2-to-1 ratio. So it's 2 luxury goods to 1 good that you need. You can't just proactively generate that. You have to use it in response to being out of something. So it's only used to supplement the cost when you can't afford something. So and plus, you're also weighing what victory points you're going to get, right? I like the port because I would be resilient to decline, and I would get the ability to choose what I'm going to get. I don't like that I only get 1 resource, but I do like the flexibility and these ability to avoid natural disasters. They don't come up too often, so I'm automatically attracted to this tile. On the other hand, forests are cheap, and getting 3 wood is a big deal. And here's why. You're only tracking up to 10, and anything more than 10 immediately converts into luxury goods. So you could probably cap out this. You could probably max out this track pretty easily. Both that and stone, but stone is a little harder to produce. So, I mean, getting 3 at a time means if you don't spend wood after 2 or 3 rounds, you're cranking out luxury goods pretty quick. So, something to consider. I think because it's the early game, I'm going to go with the port. I like the flexibility. I get the same amount of population growth for the port because I get 2 population, and I would get 2 population from the forest as well. And I would get the resilience, and it's an extra victory point. So it's 3 victory points instead of 2. Yes, 2 food and a wood is very strong. It's only worth 1 victory point. Doesn't contain. This would be my second choice, probably my third being the forest. It is pretty strong. It is pretty strong. I will give you that. My choices really are these 2, I think. Decline is a concern, but it's not a huge concern because the negative effect of decline is losing 10 luxury goods. So that sucks because if you spend all that time getting your generation engine started only to generate a ton of luxury goods and then lose 10 of them to decline, then essentially your civilization is running into hard times, right? So you're spending all your luxury goods just to stay alive. You're trading them all off. So it sucks, but it's not like the end of the world because they're not victory points at the end of the game. They just give you economic flexibility. I think the more, yeah, you've talked me into it. The more I think about it, I think this is a pretty good place to go. I'm going to give up this decline, but getting more resources every round is better than fewer, and it is more flexible. And as you're about to see in the next round, this generating 2 different kinds of resources is better than generating 1. So, all right, I'm going to pay $3, and I'm going to buy this farm, this forested farm. And we're going to put it, like we said, agriculture to the right of your civ. I'm going to put it over here next to Messine. And I immediately gain the population. So I go up 2, I go from 2 to 4. And do I immediately get the resources when you build? I don't think so. No, I don't. That's for later. That's for later. Okay, so we spent the money. We got a victory point for the building. We got our 2 population. That is the end of the round. I'm just going to, because it's been a while since I've played this game, I'm going to quickly just make sure I'm not missing a trick on the round. Just player civilization. Did that right. Good. Right. Great. Increase population. Right. Earn one-time income. One-time income. What you mean? One-time income. Oh, right. Okay. Oh. One time, anything in the white box. In this case, it's usually just population, but some tiles, like this one actually, would give you $5 and population when you get it built. So that's big. It's massive, but it's not like the end of the world to not build this. But so I got my one-time income, which is really just the population. Now, okay, did that great, and now we reveal the national disasters. Oh no. Okay, good. Then we earn income for the round. Okay, income for the round. Here's how income for the round works. First, we look at kind of essentially taxation, right? I have a population level of 4, which means here at the bottom of this column is a 2. This 0, 1, 2, and 0, 1, and 2 level population only gives you $1 taxation dollar, $1 as a result of taxation. And then if you get into levels 3 or 4, you get 2, 5 through 7, 3, and then so on down the line. If you get really, really big, you get a lot of population, then you start also generating luxury goods, because essentially you're just this big, prosperous civilization able to just generate luxury goods willy-nilly. But as it is, I'm at level 4, therefore I get $2 in taxation income. Great. Now, I also, all of the buildings in my civilization, whether they be structures or agriculture, produce at the end of every round. So I get 2 food from Messine itself. I get 2 food from my new farm and 1 wood. So I get 4 food. I'm at 2. It goes up to 6 and 1 wood. Great. That is income for the round. Now we reveal national disaster tiles. I'm going to scoot these in so you can see them all. Oh, hey. All right. Nice, dude. 6 gift subs. My man. And a hype train. You love to see it. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'm going to scoot these in so you can see them all. These are all the natural disaster tiles. One of them is blank. The rest of them align to the disasters that are out there. So we're just going to pick 2 at random. One of them is Tempest. Okay, we've got 1 tile on Tempest. Great. And then the other one, we'll pick this one, is Plague. Oh dear. Oh dear. The Plague be coming. Okay, so not bad though, because it could have been 2 of the same tile. So we're kind of spreading it out. All right. We did disasters. We know that those are coming. Yeah. Yep. Great. Wonderful. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. Great. Love it. Mm-hmm. Okay, do we just go again? Is that the sitch? Game overview. Reveal tiles. Yeah, okay. Okay, so these go away. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Cool. Now, we're still on A, so we're just going to pull 5 more A tiles. Oh, what does the barracks do? Fascinating. I don't know that I've ever seen barracks. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I have. What does barracks do? Barracks. The player is allowed to ignore the placement rules when placing land tiles. Sir. Okay, we'll get into that in a moment. He loses 2 inhabitants when you take this tile. So it kills 2 people to build the barracks. They're big. They take a long time. Lots of stone, right? You're going to end up with accidents. OSHA's not a thing back then. Right. Okay, well, here's why. This is a great opportunity. I am more than likely going to build the barracks, and here's why. I'll scoot these back off for the sake of the expansion of my tiles. Here's why. So, right now, if I want to build another agriculture building, it must either contain or provide at least 1 food or at least 1 wood for it to be adjacent to my existing tile. So I can't. I don't actually have an example. I'll look at my past tiles, so I will find an example. This one. So this is a tile from last round. I couldn't build this here because it only produces stone, and this existing tile only produces food and wood. So I can't put this tile here because the adjacency rules are essentially it's a rolling type of terrain, right? You're not just going to have a abrupt mountain in the middle of nowhere. So this doesn't work. You basically just can't have that. You have to have something that is similar. So this tile here, this can be placed here because I have wood in both of these tiles. So it's like the forest gave way to the mountains and then we have stone, right? Makes sense. Likewise, though, later, let's say this tile were to come up later, I couldn't just build this here because this one only has wood and stone on it, no food. So I wouldn't be able to buy this tile. I would, however, be able to buy this tile because this tile produces wood and food. So we're transitioning back into woods and back into farmland again, right? That's essentially the idea behind the adjacency rules. What the barracks basically say is we can build whatever we want, wherever we want, because we have this giant core of engineers and people that can just force this terraforming, right? Barracks, we have military. Hey, hype train level 77 or 77%. Thank you for the biddies. Excellent. Appreciate you. Biddies and gift streams? My gift subs? My friend. All right. So this, that kind of explains the adjacency thing. The barracks essentially lets you just brute force the terrain. You want rock? We open a mine, right? Doesn't really matter. Oh, now, hey now. Hype train complete. My goodness. Trying to top it off before the hype train expired. I thought you did, though. Hype train completed level 2, 167%. That's what I got. So I think you got it. Okay. So I don't want to build that. I mean, I do. It wouldn't be bad. But I really like building this barracks because this barracks basically means ignore all that adjacency stuff. We're just going to brute force it. You can build whatever you want, wherever you want for the rest of the game. This came up early. This is the time for that to come up. It's worth 4 victory points. And it gives me $4 when I get it built. I mean, why wouldn't I do that? It only costs $2 to build it too. Now, here's the thing. I haven't talked about what's up here. This is the cost in resources to build a barracks. 2 stone and a wood. I don't have stone. So how am I going to get this built? Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to spend $2 for the building, because that's how much it costs. It's going to come down here, and it's going to go to the left of my capital, because that's what happens. The city's on the left, and the agriculture's on the right. Just like it normally would. However, I have to essentially take out a loan. So I'm going to sink some money into the barracks. I take one of my own dollars and I'm going to sink it into the barracks, and it's on loan. Now, if I don't get some stone and make it available to me, because I have 1 wood, I have the 1 wood requirement, but I need 2 stone. If I don't get some stone by the time the supply round is triggered, which I'm taking a big risk because it's very possible I don't get this, but we're going to see what happens. Then I lose the building. The money still comes, that I've sunk into it comes back, but I lose the building. And I'm losing the population no matter what, but I do get the $4. Okay, so the build requirement is all these resources and all of these things, and I get all of these things. So I still get the $4 for getting it built. I get that, but I lose the 2 population I just gained. And now I'm on the hook for delivering 1 wood and 2 stone when the next supply round triggers, which is very likely to be soon. It may even be this next start of the next round. At which point, maybe I just traded 2 population for $4. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I hope not, because I'd like to keep the building, but we'll see what happens. I don't have luxury goods, so I couldn't trade those in yet. So, okay, let's just see what happens. I've done that. I've taken a gamble. We're going to see if it pays off. These are all coming off. But before that, before I draw new tiles, time to see what natural disasters are coming my way. Oh no, the Tempest. Oh no. And Drought. Okay, Tempest and Drought. Tempest is at 2 now. That's not good. We're going to lose an agriculture tile. Let's see. Agriculture tile times food plus money. Huh. How does that work? I need to know, because we're going to deal with Tempest in a moment. And that's no good. Tempest. Each player must immediately give up 1 food and 1 coin for each land tile. I have... Does capital count? If the player cannot or does not wish to do this, he must remove any land tiles not covered and return them to the box. I think Messine counts as a land tile because it produces food and it's green, not gray. So at minimum, I'm going to deal with 1. So I'm going to have to give up 2 food and 2 money if the Tempest were to hit. So, all right, we know it's coming. I'm going to have to deal with that, perhaps. We're not going to expose those yet because we still have end of the round income. Well, our population reduced, so I only get $1 for taxes because I'm down to 2 again. But I do still produce 4 food and wood. So I go from 6 to 10, and I produce another wood. Cool. All right. Still no stone, but we'll see how it goes. I was being greedy. All right, let's see. Okay, lots of buildings. Oh, dear. I feel like I'm going to get a supply run right now. Oh, Lord. Ooh, hey, there's a mountain. Hey, that's pretty good. No, I don't get a supply run. Okay. Oh, I was wincing all the way through that reveal. Oh, I feel like I got to build that mountain. And I have the barracks. I don't get anything for it, though. I don't get any population growth. I don't get any of that. But I need 2 stone, and I need it right now. Because as soon as that supply run happens, which could be anywhere in that B stack, I'm going to have to pay for that building. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take this mountain tile and add this to the domain here. So that's $3. Oop, I threw $1. That's 3 coins, and the mountain comes in. And I don't immediately get that, but I will at the end of the round. I don't get any growth though. That's a bummer, but it is what it is. I feel like it's the right thing to do. Okay, so these come out. And again, the only reason I can place that is because I have the barracks to let me break the placement rules. So these adjacency rules that I described before, not a concern anymore. As long as I keep the barracks, but I'm about to produce the stone that I need, so I'll be able to pay off the barracks when the time comes. So let's that's it, right? Okay, so population still 1, so I get $1. I still got $5. I'm doing all right. I have four food. Okay, so I'm at 10 now. 1, 2, 3 is 13, and now everything north of 13 produces luxury goods. So now I've produced my first luxury good. So that's great. I've produced my first luxury good. Now I can convert if I need to. And then I do still produce 1 wood, so I'm up to 3. And I've just now produced my first 3 stone. Boom, I now have enough to pay for the barracks when the time comes. Great. Okay. I think that was the end of the 3rd round. So I am still going to reveal these. Okay, so we're going to pick that one. Oh no, it's drought. We're going to pick this one. Oh, it's plague. Oh dear. Drought is you lose 1/3 of your accumulated food. Plague is you lose 1/3 of your population. I don't have the buildings. The buildings haven't even come out yet to fight off any of those. So I just have to be prepared for that. If I lost 1/3 of my population right now, it wouldn't be the big deal. I would probably just lose 1 because I'm at 2. If I lost 1/3 of my food though, I'm at 13. So that's a lot of food. But I'd produce it pretty quick. So I guess I don't really mind either way. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay, we're going into era B here. These are getting more expensive now. Oh. So the well helps you fend off the plague. My population is not very big though, so I don't know that I want to just invest in that. Losing 1 population I can deal with. I can't afford this tile. It's cost 6. It doesn't produce anything for you, but it does give you 3 luxury goods and 3 population. So if I wanted to grow my population really quickly, that'd be how I do it. I already just built a mountain range with 3 stones, so I don't need that. Although that one gives me a population where the other one didn't, but it's $2 more expensive, so I don't need that. I don't need help on the granary. I guess I could build the well, but it seems like I'm only getting 1 population and only produces 1 food, which I also don't need. I'd really like a forest right now. So what happens if I pass? I think I just get money. I can just not buy a tile and get cash instead. Right, I can pass and get $3. I think I'm just gonna pass. I would like the extra stuff, but not for the cost. And I mean, it would be nice to get the victory points, I guess. And not for nothing, I need the wood though. But I'm going to generate the wood at the end of the round. I could build the granary, spend the 3 wood that I have, get the 3 food, get the 5 victory points. Costs me only $2, and I get the 1 wood that I need to pay off the barracks generated at the end of the round. I feel like that's not a bad thing. And I'm kind of, if I don't buy this, I'm kind of leaving 5 victory points on the table. So yeah, why not? Just for the sake of the victory points, I'll spend $2. I'll get the granary. I'll spend my 3 wood to build the granary down to 0. Don't have any more now. But I get 3 more food, which, because I'm maxed out on food, translates to 3 luxury goods. 1, 2, 3. I'm up to 4. So again, remember, I can convert luxury goods 2 to 1 for any resource I want, including coins. Okay, so that goes away. And here we go. Do we get... I have a more than 50% chance of triggering at least one natural disaster. And I do. I trigger drought just in time. I got this 3 food and they converted into luxury goods just before the drought. Now I lose 1/3 of my food, rounding up. So 1/3 of 13. Well, 1/3 of 12 is 4. So it would be 5. So I lose 5 food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm down to 8 food. Not the end of the world. Oh, I didn't do my production. I should have done production first. Yeah, production comes first, and then we'll do that. Well, we know drought's going to be there, so it doesn't really matter. I've already made my decision, so let's just do it. I get 4 food, but that's good though, because that means that happens before the drought hits. So I'm from 4 to 8 luxury goods, 1 wood, and 3 stone. 1, 2, 3, up to 6. Now the drought happens, and I'm down to 8 food. That's good timing. I was able to trade a bunch of food off before the drought, and but now I'm down to food. So like I kind of set myself up. I'm a little lower on food than I would have liked to have been, but I'm a little richer for it. So fine, whatever. I got a trade done. The good news is the drought is done. We won't see another drought the rest of the game. So that was 1. Let's see if we get another one. We do. We get Tempest. Oh dear. It is 3 food and $3. I have exactly $3, and I have 8 food, so down to 5. I'm broke, but I didn't have to lose any of my properties to Tempest. So here's what it is. But so now I'm broke. I can't buy any more tiles. I'm gonna have to pass next round, which sucks. But we weathered the storm. So we'll have $3 next round. I'm tempted to I can't discard the tiles because a supply round may happen, but that's a bummer. I would have loved to have added another tile to the estate, but it is what it is. Okay. Oh, there's the supply round. I knew it was coming. Okay. And we missed out on the ability to avoid the drought, but that's all right. Oh, we're going to miss out on the aqueduct too, which gives us another plague avoidance opportunity because we don't have money. But this is the supply round. Supply rounds happen once in a while in the game. And this is, I think, where you have to feed your people, which is a really bad timing because I only have 5 food. But let's figure out how this is going to go. Okay, supply round. All players must provide food for their populations. Each inhabitant requires 1 unit of food. Each player, okay, so I have 2 inhabitants, so it's only 2 food, 5 down to 3. Not the end of the world, but boy, did that wipe out my food. Oh, I just lost 10 food. Now I need to complete my buildings. That was the other thing that happens during a supply round is any buildings you have on loan like that, you have to make good on your loan. So, or you lose the building. So it's going to cost me 2 stone, 6 down to 4, and 1 wood, 1 down to 0. But this dollar comes off and it comes back into my pocket. So I've paid off the building, my loan comes back to me, and no worse for wear, didn't lose anything. But I did lose my last wood. That's right. Okay, so I'm not going to buy a tile. Instead, I'm going to take $3 because I can't afford a tile. Okay, so these tiles all go away. Unfortunately, there was some stuff in there I would have loved to build. Right, and then income. Taxation, I get $1. And then 4 food, thank God, up to 7. Another wood, and 3 stone from 4 to 7. Cool. All right, we keep on trucking. Ooh, wood production. That would not suck. And population growth. That would also not suck. Because we just got done with, well, we got the plague coming. So maybe population growth isn't the best thing. A sip of water here. Well, this would give me $3 and 1 wood. I'm already producing 1 wood. And it wouldn't grow my civilization too much. They're both worth 4 victory points. They're both $3 to build. This is essentially free because I get my $3 back. So I think I'm just going to take the free tile. And really only because I know that the because I know that plague is coming. So I'm going to go up 2 civ. I'm going to get my $3 back, which I basically just put $3 in, got $3 back, so I just didn't trade any cash. Right, and that's that. Okay, now let's do income. Well, I get $2 in taxation now. That's good. I get 2 wood, 4 food, 7 to 11, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, yep. And then 3 stone. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, we're maxed out on stone now. That doesn't suck. Any more stone converts to luxury goods, and we know how that is. So, I think we're okay. Disaster turn. Okay, let's see what we got. We're going to move those in here for a moment. We're going to flip over that one. Oh, earthquake coming. We felt a little tremor. Oh, dear. Another earthquake coming. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay, well, we could see an earthquake. Got to bail. All right, good luck with them disasters. Yeah, well, Peloponnes, always crazy. Thank you, sir, for all of the support to the channel. We love to see it. Thank you for stopping by. Have yourself a fine evening. Okay. So that was that. We did the natural disasters. And now we're going to see another round. We did the income. Yeah, okay, cool. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Ooh, masonry. I got a bunch of money. I might build that to avoid the masonry. I only have 2 buildings, though. Okay, so there's our 5. We have exactly 1 round left. Oh, there's a supply round. Uh-oh. I got to feed my people again. Well, I'm at 4, which means I got to spend 4 food. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Did that. If the earthquake hits, I will have to spend a stone and a wood for every building I have. I have 2 buildings, so that'd be 2 stone and 2 wood. I have that. So I'm not going to care as much about building the masonry. Plus, it costs 6 stone to do it. And I don't want to give up my stone. I just barely maxed it out. Now, there's this Tyrannus Fortress. It's worth 7 victory points. Costs 3 stone. Okay. 1 wood. Okay. We're going to produce another wood again, and it produces wood as well. I feel like I should build that. For the victory points, I do lose a population. I go down in population again. That's okay, though, because the plague is coming, so I might just lose fewer people that way. So they die in the service of helping build this civilization, or they die because of plague. I'd rather they die for something rather than they just die because some disease ravages the community. So, okay, let's build the fortress. $6 though. Yikes. I had money. I don't know what happened, but here we are. Okay, $6 gone. We lose a population. We're down to 3. We build the building. Okay. Now we do income. Before anything else, we do income. So our last round coming up. And let's see. I'm just looking at something. I don't remember. Okay. Then we do income. So we do 5 food. So we're 7 to 12. We do 3 wood. Oh, we got to pay for this thing first. So it's 1 wood and 3 stone. So 10 down to 7. Okay, we paid for the thing. And now we do 3 stone. Get our stone back. Okay. All right. Wait. We produced 1 more wood. No, I had 3 wood. I'm down to 2. I never took the wood. So now I gained 3 wood. Now I'm at 5. That makes more sense. Okay. All right. That makes way more sense. I was like, I knew I had that covered. What I was worried about was earthquake hitting and having enough wood, and I knew I was going to produce enough. So I did. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. We didn't produce any stone, though. We should have. I know I didn't because I was at 10. Oh, we did. We spent it on the thing. Never mind. We did. I don't get the luxury goods. We spent it on the fortress. Okay. Now let's figure out what disaster it is. Plague. Oh dear. The plague is finally going to hit. I have 3 population. I lose 1. So now back down to 1 again. And we also get a decline. Okay. Okay, we have 4 tiles left in 1 round. So 2 of these we're not going to see, and we haven't seen the blank yet. So we have a 25% chance of hitting the blank tile, in which case we could either trigger the earthquake or just the decline. Yeah. Is earthquake, 2 decline, and a blank that are in here. If I hit the blank, then unless it's the other one is the earthquake, then no other natural disaster will hit. We'll see what happens. Here we go, last round. We don't care about decline right now. It would be nice to be able to avoid the earthquake, but we have enough resources to avoid that, so it's okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. What do we have? We don't care as much about the avoiding tempest because it happened. We don't really care about avoiding drought because that happened. We do care about avoiding decline to a degree. It doesn't count for victory points. It is a tiebreaker in a multiplayer game, but because we're not playing multiplayer, we don't really care about that. There are victory points, but if I'm going to do that, I might as well build the statue of Zeus for 8 victory points and 2 population. I like that. But it costs $8. Oh, did I get my income? Why? Well, because I spent $6 on the fortress. And but I don't think I did my money income before the plague hit. I think it was $2. So I'm at 3 because before the plague hit is when you're supposed to do your income. So I got $2 before I lost my population. So I'm at 3. I can at least buy a 3 tile, but there's no tiles here that cost 3. So I have no choice but to not build a tile, lose out on that 8 victory points. And oh, that's not true. I can trade 2 to 1, right? I have 8, so that's 4. Oh, I'm $1 shy on building the statue of Zeus. If I were to cash in all of my luxury goods, it would be worth $4. 4 plus my $3 is 7. So I can still build something, but not something that's worth 8 victory points. I think instead we can build Stoa, which helps avoid decline. That's good. I'm not going to have any more luxury goods left over anyway. If I do, it'll be very few. But the point is the 6 victory points. I have the rest of the resources. So let's build Stoa. We're going to spend $3 plus all 8 of my luxury goods down to 0 for the remaining money. Stoa comes in, gets built, and the resource hit for Stoa is, can you even see Stoa? Yeah, you can. All right. The resource hit is 4 stone, so 10 down to 6, and 2 wood, 5 down to 3. Pays for Stoa. And I get 2 population for that, so I'm back up to 4. And now, if decline hits, I am immune. So whatever I generate coming up now in resources that convert into luxury goods, I will be able to keep them, even if we lose, even if the decline hits. So let's find out. Let's find out what happens. Let's do income first. Taxation, I'll do it first since I missed it the last time. $2. And now 1 food, 2 food, 3, 4, 5, 6 food. Great. I'm at 12. 13 is 1, so that's 5 luxury goods. Amazing. And now wood, I have 1, 2, 3, so 3 to 6. And stone, I think I just produced the 3 right now, right? 3 to 9. Okay, so the only luxury goods I was able to produce were 5, but hey, that's not bad. Now, okay, let's see what happens. Last 2, nothing, and earthquake. Oh, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. It couldn't have been decline. Fine. Okay, I lose a stone and a wood for every building. That means 4 wood, 6 down to 2, and 4 stone, 9 down to 5. We weathered the earthquake fine. Couldn't have been decline, you bastard. All right. All right, that's the end of the game, I think. What happens at the end of the game? End of the game. Oh, then we reveal the last 2, which is decline. So no matter what, decline does hit, but I'm immune. So that's fine. Okay. Okay. Right. Then we do another feed. Oh, dear. Okay, that's fine. I'm at 4. I lose 4 food. 13 down to 9. Good. I don't have any incomplete buildings. Final score. Sum of all building and land tile prestige points. 1 point for every 3 coins. Do we produce or not? Did I produce already? I did. No, we don't. Okay. All right, fine. So I only have $2, so I don't get a prestige point for that. But what did I manage to do? Well, 5, 4, and 1, that's 10 points. 6 and 4 is 20 points. 7 and 3 is 30 points. Solo score is for the level 1 level system game. That's basically if you're going to play a 3-game or even a 4-game series, the first one is you have to accumulate at least 24 points. I accumulated 30, so I passed the level 1 game. Let's see what happens if I was playing a level 2 game. The player chooses 1 additional income. To show this, one of the round overview tiles is placed halfway under. Oh, wow. Cool. That's neat. The tiles are drawn each round as in a 4-player game with one tile placed next to the conquest tile. Oh, conquest is the bidding, by the way. The tile in the conquest row costs 3 coins more. That's cool. I might have to try that. So in a multiplayer game, there's something called the conquest row. And the way that works is when you're bidding, the first player to commit to buying a tile in the conquest row is agreeing to pay $3 additional than what the tile is already worth. But if they're the first one to commit to buying that tile, they're guaranteed to buying it. They're guaranteed to buy it. They're basically splashing the pot and saying, that's mine. So in this level 2 solo game, apparently, you get one tile pulled out as in the conquest row. So you have the opportunity to make a conquest purchase, committing those $3 extra to buying that tile. You may not always want to, but in the case of that tile being perfect for your Civ, it may be worth the investment. So that's an extra wrinkle. That's really cool. So what you would have is, instead of having 5 tiles to choose from, you'd have 4 regular tiles and 1 conquest tile. You have to make 28 points to pass that. So assuming we played that way, I had 30 points. I would have been able to win that game as well. I would not have won the level 3 tile though. Well, level 3 solo game. Let's use real English. Level 3 is played with a different civilization as in previous levels. The player chooses 2 additional types of income. Wow. Okay. Oh, so it's the same thing, but instead of in level 3, you get 3 tiles that are out normally and 2 conquests. So you still your cheaper options are limited to 3 now instead of 5. And then you have to commit $3 if you want to buy one of the other 2. But you are generating more goods. Interesting. That's pretty neat, though. I might have to, later on, I might have to try to play that. But as it is, I did successfully beat the level 1 solo score, which was 24 points, made 30. That's Peloponnes in a nutshell. This is a short stream today, but I wanted to kind of show it off because I really think Peloponnes is worth the time, is worth the play, even though you may not like the art. You may think the art is drab or dated. 2009 was a good year for producing board games. It just was a different era, right? It was just an era where people needed to put out games that were like this. They just didn't have the resources that they do today in the board gaming world to do that. I desperately would love to see Peloponnes revisited for a modern era. I would love to see this game in all of its different expansions. I'd love to see the solo modes expanded and properly complexified. I'd love to see additional new content put out for it. And I'd love to obviously see a new treatment for the game. So long as it doesn't reduce its readability, I think this game would be lovely with plussing up. I'd love to see dual layered player boards and the ability to not, be worrying about bumping your table all the time with that. You know what I'm saying? Just the stuff that they've solved in the industry in the intervening years. I think it deserves it. Peloponnes is a great game, and it always gets downplayed today because it doesn't look pretty, and it hasn't gotten a revamp, and that's criminal. I think you should seek out Peloponnes. I think it's worth it, and I'm sure the stream hasn't gotten very many views compared to many of my other streams recently, and I'm sure this video won't do very well on YouTube comparatively, and I don't care. That's not the point. The point is, these games deserve love, and I'm going to put these things out periodically because it's not all about getting clicks. So Thank you for joining me today, if you have. And thank you for giving this video a watch on YouTube. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe if you're watching me over on YouTube. Or if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please head over to YouTube and like and subscribe. Help me build my following over there as well. I deeply appreciate you and your time for joining me every week here on the table. I guess that's really it. Thanks for joining me on a quick one this week. And we'll be back next week with something completely different. It'll probably be something newer. It'll probably be something a little bit bigger, flashier perhaps. We'll see what happens. I haven't made up my mind, so tune in, see what happens. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me. See you later.